My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to study about the relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan, the base of the foreign relations, and how Pakistan is coping up with the issues related to Afghanistan. Afghanistan is in the west of Pakistan. Both the countries have had relations for centuries. Due to the Indian and Russian pressure on Afghanistan, both Pakistan and Afghanistan could not enjoy good relations. Anyhow, now both are trying to establish good relations in the new era. Let's look at the political and diplomatic relations. Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayhi said on December 3, 1947, in reply to the speech of an Afghan representative, I quote, Pakistan government and people have a strong desire of maintaining good, strong relations with Afghanistan. Afghanistan is our first neighbor and Pakistani nation has religious, cultural and social relations with it for centuries. Pakistani nation always respected the soul of the freedom of Afghan people. My dear students, Pakistan applied for the membership of the United Nations organization in September 1947. In spite of Pakistan's effort to bring about an atmosphere of good neighborly relations, Afghanistan was the only country in the world that opposed Pakistan being admitted to the membership of the United Nations. In spite of such kind of thoughts from Afghanistan, Pakistan showed its broad-mindedness. A few months later, a round of talks was held between Pakistan and Afghan leadership. Afghan delegates raised serious objections on the demarcation of the boundaries and demanded that Afghanistan should be given access to the sea by earmarking a corridor. And Pakistan wisely promised to give such a corridor to reach the Arabian Sea. My dear students, Pakistan shares the longest boundary with Afghanistan, lying in the northwest. The British had made several efforts to annex Afghanistan with the British India, but they did not succeed. Finally, they decided to demarcate a boundary line between the two countries. The mutually accepted line of the demarcation between the two countries is named as Durand Line. After the creation of Pakistan, the Durand Line was recognized as international boundary between Pakistan and Afghanistan. But some Afghanistan government however expressed reservations regarding the validity of the Durand Line, and at times they make claims on the certain areas of Pakistani territory. Some misguided elements in the NWFP fall prey to the Afghan propaganda and troubles they caused troubles for Pakistani government as well. On the contrary, Pakistan government always manifested restraint and tried to assure Afghan people that Pakistan is their friend and wants to establish brotherly relations with them. Same is the part of NWFP and some parts of Balochistan. They say that they are the part of in their territory, but in fact this territory belongs to Pakistan and Pakistan does not accept their claims. Right after the creation of Pakistan, the tribal people of Afghanistan started to attack Pakistan with the support of the Afghan government, so efforts were made to weaken Pakistan. Due to the Indian and Russian conspiracies, Afghanistan started to interfere Pakistan's internal affairs openly in 1955, and in 1956 Pakistan's council centers were attacked. From 1960 and 1961, this aggression was so high that Pakistan had to keep its air force red alert. In 1961, because of the armed aggression, Pakistan broke the diplomatic relations with Afghanistan, and the passage benefit was taken back. But in 1963, Shah Iran pinned the two countries together. On the sayings of Russia, Afghanistan started to propagate the idea of the Pakhtunistan in NWFP by supporting the Indian supporter group. On that, Pakistan's foreign minister Zafarullah Khan challenged the Afghan foreign minister that if Pakistani Pakhtuns should have the right of freedom, then they should give this right to Afghan Pakhtuns so that they all can decide their future. Dear students, let's look at the efforts of Pakistan for the betterment of the relations between the two countries. In 1966, Ayub Khan did his effort and visited Afghanistan. In March 1978, Afghan President Sardar Mohammad Dawood came to Pakistan and gifted 10,000 tons of rice to Pakistan. The rules of entering Pakistan for Afghani people were softened. In addition to that, Afghanistan was given the passage through Wagah for trade. But, my dear students, Afghanistan's stubbornness has been seen. Although the government which was formed after Sardar Muhammad Dawood accepted Pakistan, but after that Afghan adopted very strict policy against Pakistan. This damaged the relations between the two countries. On December 27, 1979, Russia sent its forces to Afghanistan. Pakistan took it seriously. It condemned Russian aggression. Pakistan helped 3.5 million Afghan muhajirs and supported mujahideen in spite of its limited resources. Not only that, Pakistan played a very important role in getting the resolution approved from the UN concerning the Afghanistan peace establishment. Now let's look at the role of Pakistan in freeing Afghanistan from the Russian forces. Supporting the Deco card base. Pakistan did not accept the Afghan government, so talks were started under the supervision of Cardbase. He visited Pakistan, Iran and Afghanistan. At last, his visits became fruitful. Russia and Afghanistan both agreed for the peaceful solution for the crisis. Geneva Accord and returning of the Russian forces. In March 1988, the final round of Geneva talks were started, which were successful in April 1988. So Geneva Accord was signed. Along with the Russian forces started to go back to Afghanistan. Status of Pakistan in the Afghan-Russian war. In Afghan-Russian war, although Pakistan supported Afghan people on Muslim Brotherhood basis, but actually it was a great success for Pakistan that Pakistan was a strong country in Asia now. My dear students, after Russia went back from Afghanistan, different Afghan groups started to struggle for the rule. This caused civil war situation. Pakistan took the following steps to stop it. Peshawar Accord. Due to the efforts of Pakistan under the supervision of Pakistan government, an agreement was among the different Afghan groups was signed at Peshawar on April 24, 1992. It is called Peshawar Agreement or Accord. With few exceptions, all the groups accepted it but could not be acted upon. As a result, once again Afghan civil war broke out. Next is Islamabad Accord to establish the peace in Afghanistan. In the presence of the then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, an agreement was signed among the different Afghan leaders on February 7, 1993. It is called Islamabad Accord. It was also not acted upon. Next is the new era of friendship. After the Afghan-Russia war, a new era of friendship between Afghan and Pakistan started on April 29, 1992. Pakistan Premier visited Afghanistan. In reply to that, Afghan President also visited Pakistan. It helped a lot in this strengthening the friendly relations with both countries. After the Islamabad Accord, civil war once again broke out in Afghanistan. Due to that, students from the religious schools started jihad. Their organization was called the Taliban, and in a very short period of time, they captured the capital city, Kabul. They formed the Islamic Republic government. They made a government of the Taliban government, and Islamic Republic of Pakistan also accepted it. And my dear students, at that time it was a very positive sign, but in the times to come later on in the 2001 scenario, this acceptance of the Taliban government became a problem for Pakistani government. My dear students, the relations were prospering very smoothly, but in 2001 9/11 took place, and it created a new war of terrorism inside Pakistan and Afghanistan. America pressurized the Pakistani government that if they were on the Taliban side or on the America side, Pakistan had to decide, and Pakistan decided on the side of America, and that is why America attacked Afghanistan and Pakistan had to side with America. As the Taliban and other jihadis were coming inside Pakistan, there was a great influx. through the Tora Bora mines, and Pakistani government captured them, most of them, and then handed over them to uh, the American government. In response, this created a chaos in the Afghan territory, and they decided to start a new era of terrorist attacks inside Pakistan, and this affected the Pakistani peace and stability to a very worst extent. In July 2010, a memorandum of understanding was reached between Pakistan and Afghanistan for the Pak-Afghan Transit Trade Agreement, and it is commonly called as APTTA, which was observed by US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The two states also signed at MOU for the reconstruction of the rail tracks in Afghanistan to connect with Pakistan railways as well. In October 2010, a landmark agreement, APTA, was signed by Pakistani Commerce Minister. In 2010, again, two states formed a joint chamber of commerce as well to expand the trade relations. In 2012 July, Afghanistan and Pakistan agreed to extend APTA to Tajikistan in what will be the first step for the establishment of North-South trade corridor. Towards the end of the same year, both the governments of Afghanistan and Pakistan drafted a plan to talk on the Taliban's as well. My dear students, at this moment, the relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan are on a bumpy road. Pakistan has done a lot of effort to end the American attack on Afghanistan, and the peace process has started, but the problem lies on the same ground, that the Taliban are there in the government. Now the new government has been started in Afghanistan. A lot of effort has been done from Pakistan's side, but the peace and stability of this region is at stake, as India and other negative powers are playing their very cruel role in the peace of Afghanistan. They are not letting it happen. Again, the peace treaty with these terrorists that was done by Pakistan government has ended, and a lot of terrorist attacks have started inside Pakistan. Uh, Friendly relations are there between the governments, but let me tell you the truth, de facto government in Afghanistan, there is no government inside Afghanistan right now. Only the Taliban setup is there, and they are establishing, and it will take them time to organize and build up the infrastructure inside Afghanistan. Let's hope for the best.